Welcome back to the Hive School, where we help you one up your workflow. I'm sat here with Mitja from LightAct's at Blue Eyes UK headquarters, where we've done 2 days worth of accelerated LightAct training, which has been brilliant. I have to say my brain's quite fried after going through all that information, but it's been really eye-opening and really exciting. So whilst we're both in the same place,
yeah.
I really wanted to, I spoke to Mitja before about doing a little interview and just introducing Mitja and LightAct's to the Hive School community as well. So thank you for joining me.
Thank you very much, Rich.
No, it's great. So the way I've started these interviews in the couple that we've done before is first talking about the person. So tell me about yourself. How did you get into doing production video related things?
Yeah, so hi, my name is Mitja. I'm the CEO of LightAct, and actually I studied electrical engineering back in the day. And then I went on to study architectural lighting, and especially I was very interested in the interactive lighting, and we developed these DMX controllers for interactive lighting. And then we started to control more and more pixels, and suddenly you treat them as a small video canvas, and from then on it went to projection mapping and fixed installs, and then to live events.
Amazing. And what sort of time frame are we talking about there?
Yeah. So LightAct was founded in 2010.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah. And in the last 4 years, I would say we are doing mostly projection mapping, things like that. Yeah.
Yeah. Cool. And for those people who maybe haven't heard of LightAct before, do you want to tell them a little bit about what LightAct is and what it does?
Yeah, so LightAct is a media server for, as we say, big shows and fast workflows. So it's a software and hardware. You can get just the software licenses and run it on your own hardware, or you can get the entire solution, software and hardware.
Yeah,
together.
That's great.
That's in a nutshell.
I love that. Yeah, we've been looking through both angles of that this last couple of days as well, and I've got to say I'm really impressed. There's some really cool features and some really nice hardware there. So,
Thank you. I'm glad you like it. Yeah.
That's good. So what kind of shows has LightAct been put on by its users so far?
So we've done both small shows and, let's say, the biggest. We've done quite some big fixed installs with 5 servers, lots of projectors. We've done some rap concerts in Poland, for example. We've done some shows in Australia. So it's growing. And in the last, let's say, 2 years, we've been really focusing on making the workflows faster, specifically for live events. So I'm happy to say that in the last 6 to, let's say, 10 months, we started to see users really picking up LightAct and use it in sort of their daily work. In their almost every show that they do, they use LightAct, which is really, really gratifying.
That's got to be quite satisfying, seeing people use your product so regularly.
Exactly. It's the most, because live events, it's so demanding in terms of workflows. It was really an eye-opening thing for us when we met for the first time real operators like you. And when you learn that, no, they don't have 2 days to do it, they have 2 hours,
Sure.
And that's when you realize, okay, this needs to be faster. So in the last 2 years, that was our main focus.
Yeah, I think from what we've learned in the last 2 days, I think that really shows. It's a streamlined piece of software, but also goes very deep. And I think I'll say, from my point of view, the thing that separates LightAct from some of the other offerings out there is definitely your node-based system.
Yeah.
That is super powerful. As we've been going through different workflows and stuff like that, if there hasn't been a GUI button to press to do a certain thing, it's but there's a node way of fixing this, which just means that whilst I might have one way of doing things with the background of show that I've done, another person, and we saw this with 10 people in the room, we all had different backgrounds and different workflows and stuff, and I think it's difficult from a manufacturer to capture all that, but giving us the toolbox in the nodes to be able to build it the way that we think about it is that's super powerful.
It shows where we come from. We come from interactive installations where you start with nodes. And then when we started to work towards live events, we realized we need to hide the nodes for 80% of the programming and then leave them there for the last 10% or 20%. So the idea is you don't have to use the nodes for the most of the time of the programming, but only when you need to do some custom stuff, that's when the nodes are really, really helpful.
Yeah, I totally agree with you that like it is those last little customizations that really make the node system shine. And I think the really like core integration of your standard media server stuff, you know, timelines, inputs, outputs, all that kind of stuff, that's all there in the GUI. Yeah. But having the ability to like shape the way I access those things, I think is like really quite exciting.
And also in terms of development, it's much easier to develop one node than to try to figure out a whole functionality and think, where do I put this in the UI? Because it really can mess things up. But if you just one node, it's easy.
Yeah, no, definitely. Yeah. I mean, it's been a fantastic couple of days because we had people from all different like, I guess the terms like vertical markets, like theatre and like corporate events and like broadcast and stuff like that. So like you've been peppered with all the questions.
Yeah, and it's really great. Like that's why I personally like to go to these trainings because it's an eye-opening thing. Still, after 2 years of meeting you people, operators, it's really a hard job. That's the one thing, being an operator, like the pressure, the time constraints, everything. And it's really an eye-opening thing for me to learn of the challenges that you have to go through.
Yeah, definitely. I think, you know, it's, as an operator, you've not just got to know your tools, your software, your hardware, what have you, but you've also got to do that under like compressed time frames and like with, you know, sort of producers coming in and changing stuff. So yeah, finding another tool that makes that like quite an easy thing to do is exciting, and it's definitely something that I want to spend more time looking into. So tell us a little bit about like what's coming up in the future for LightAct. Mm-hmm.
So we are going to focus, we are already focusing a lot on multi-server workflows, making it easier, upgrading our backup server functionality, editor server functionality. So that is one of the main things. So in August, we are releasing 4.12, LightAct's 4.12, which will feature a lot of new timeline functionalities and syncing functionalities. And in 4.13, that's where we are focusing a lot on the multi-server environment. That's the main thing. Our slogan, so to speak, is really big shows, fast workflows, and I think it encapsulates really our goal.
Yeah, sure. Yeah. Okay, that's exciting. And tell me a little bit more about, we've just been downstairs to the warehouse to have a look at some of your new hardware units. Tell me very quickly what you've got in the way of a hardware lineup.
Yeah, so we have 4 models. Mini is the smallest, half of a 1U, and then we have Unit, which is 1U, server Double, which is 2U, and Reactor, which is 4U. And what differentiates our offering, I guess, is the ability to have expansion modules, so you can modify your own server, but also the ability to have even the 1U server with the best possible real-time rendering performance. So you don't need to get the biggest box to get very good real-time rendering performance, for example.
That was something that I don't think I've seen a huge amount of other manufacturers doing, which is you've got your 4 different chassis, but then within each of those you've got a collection of different sort of possible configurations. So you could have a couple of different GPU options in the Reactor. Same throughout the whole range actually. Like there's the ability to configure at the point of purchase, I think is quite exciting.
We have a special configuration aimed at rental market called Reactor Live 3, and it comes with all the video input, audio input, and so on, whatever is the standard in the rental industry. But for fixed installs, sometimes you need a really high-end real-time rendering, but you don't need video input, you don't need audio output, and so on. So that's why these modifications are advantageous.
Yeah, totally. No, that's awesome. Yeah. So if people want to check out what LightAct's are doing, where would be the best place for them to follow you?
Well, they should start at lightact.com, the webpage, and in the support page, there's a link to our Discord channel, which is a lively place, a friendly place, and there's a newsletter. But yeah, go to lightact.com and you'll find your way.
Okay, well, I think that's as much as sort of in my brain at the moment, having been sort of frazzled a little bit by 2 days worth of learning. But it's been an honour to come and spend a couple of days with you on looking at LightAct. Appreciate you sitting down with me for a quick chat.
Thank
And
you.
yeah, looking forward to seeing what LightAct does over the next year or two.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, brilliant. Thank you.